Hello, back again. It's time to do some more design work and magic items. That's what we've been working on, doing lots of different types of magical items. We're going with the skin today. We're going tattoos. I'm going to put up a whole bunch of stuff very shortly. I didn't work a lot on this initially. I have actually just sort of done the sort of basics. I've got some reasonable ideas for this. I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. Feel free to share your ideas. But grab some food, some drink, and we're going to get into this. We've only got a short space of time, really, to get as much done as we can, and I want to try and get about 20 if I can. It's the usual deal. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? Hi, welcome to HowtoRPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about magic items. And it's not really a magic item, I guess, because it's a tattoo. It's a tattoo is something you put on your skin. So it's not, you wear it, but it's not a thing as such, right? So it's a little bit odd as a magical item, but I know a lot of people like the idea of magical tattoos, and I thought, well, we can't leave that out. So let's include that, and that's what we'll work on today. So I've already started a Google document on this, and I've only got 2 that I've listed so far, and we'll see how that goes. And then of course it'll come down to just working through the process, looking at what we could possibly do that hasn't already been done, and then any ideas that you might have. So we'll start off with what are your ideas, and then I'm going to show you my Google document. Okay, so what are your magic tattoo ideas? Can spell it correctly, please, Ridley. Okay, there we go. And so I want common, if possible, simple, things that aren't too powerful, low power. Why? So that you can actually use them in your game. It would be great if we can actually incorporate these things into your game rather than be something that you could never use because you just have to freak out that they might actually do something with it that's too much. To be fair, magic items always unbalance a game anyway, so getting too concerned about balance is a bit silly. But anyway, the idea is we try to make magic items that aren't going to be too crazy, that aren't going to be too much of a benefit, but still be fun and still have some sort of benefit, but just not silly stuff. Okay, so anyway, I think I have most of my page. Yes, it is pretty much ready to go. So let's just chop over to here, and I'll come back to chat as we work through this. So this is what I have currently. Now you'll notice that the first 2 are marked a little bit differently, but they are essentially the same magic items fundamentally as the masks that we made last week. So if I scroll down here, you'll see that mechanically they are identical as the Divine Mask, the Arcane Mask. I am not a huge fan of trying to make a magic item that just has another version of something. This is not something you can stack, so it's not a problem if you did have it. Like this is all right. But if you wanted something else that was going to be a bit more interesting, because this really just like, okay, I have a mask or I have a tattoo or a mark of some kind. And that's it. That's the extent of what we're dealing with here. So it's not that creative, if you ask me. It is just copy pasting, really. I guess the other thing to say is this would really only apply to something like 5e, D&D 5e, whereas other systems, it wouldn't be necessary. You wouldn't have to worry about having a spell focus. I don't talk about spell focuses, or then you might need to worry. You don't have to track and worry about material components for the spell and having a hand free and all that sort of stuff. So this is very 5e centric. So let's see if we can make something that's kind of in this vein, but does something a little bit different. And I'm going to start with the one that is kind of druidic. So I'm just going to copy paste this, and then I'm going to change it around and we'll do something with it. It just popped into my head while I was going to the toilet. Like I said, most of my best ideas come from sitting on the toilet. Okay, so I'm going to call this the Healing Tattoo. Here, brilliant name, isn't it? Okay, next, common. It's not going to be common because we're going to add a +1 bonus here. So while wearing this tattoo, you gain a additional hit point. You gain, let's go 1. 1 additional hit point when magical healing is used on you. Is that pretty clear? So while wearing this tattoo, you gain 1 additional hit point when magical healing is used on you. So I guess something like, you know, a healing potion is magical, a spell, and you would get a certain number of hit points from that. In this case, when that happens, whether it's a potion or a spell like Cure Wounds or Heal or whatever the heck it is, you would get 1 additional hit point. So it's giving you a little bit more, but it's not a lot. Okay? It's a very, very small effect. I'm still going to list it as uncommon as an effect. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to have to start working my way through the various spells that we have here. And also, I did have a look to see what tattoos Wizards of the Coast had already created. I'm sure other game systems and other third-party publishers have created more tattoos that are magical that you can incorporate into your game. I don't know what all of them are. I do not want to really repeat somebody else's work. So let's do something else. Let's take this concept and paste. And we might actually call this, is it arcane? I'm just going to call it Mystic Mark. We'll just call it, it's a Mystic Mark. There we go. All right. So let's go magical tattoo. While we're in this tattoo, you can. Now, I'm going to get rid of this bit. I'm going to keep it as common, bold, and drink of water. There's a spell I've been holding off for a really long time. That's low level. It's a cantrip that I feel like we don't have to stipulate it, but we can fold a lot of that meaning into this magical item. Something that it gives you magical power. I'm going to have to come back because I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, which I don't normally do, but we're going to do it today, just so that it's fresh in my mind and I get it down and done. Starting with P, prestidigitation is, and there's the old version, and then there's the new version. And I feel like taking some aspects of this spell would be like a lot of fun to incorporate. I don't think all of the effects that you could do here, but I think that it would be absolutely a lot of fun to do something with it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to pour it across as many of these ideas as we can into this magic item without getting too lengthy. And then prestidigitation, the newer version, I think they've just highlighted, or was it bolded sections. So the first thing is while we're in this tattoo, you can create small magical effects. Effects such as, and okay, no. So we probably need to stipulate something here. While wearing this tattoo, you can create small magical effects with your action, such as. Okay, that's better. Okay, now let's take some of this and can we just strip it right back. Harmless sensory effect. Well, you can conjure. Let's do go conjure. Conjure small magical effects with your actions, such as. Let's go here. Harmless sensory effects. What's another one? Let's go here. Paste. Light or snuff out a small flame. Flame. I don't know why it doesn't like that, but anyway, I'm not finished. Clean or swirl. Paste. Clean or swirl. Swirl. Object. Object. What else? Chill, warm, or flavor. An object. Flavor a material. Okay. All right. We're almost there. What else do we want to do? Yeah, color. Color a surface. And paste. Color. Color an object. Mark a surface. It's not material, Fred. There we go. All right, so what did I? Does there anything else? Color, mark. No, we're not going to create a magical trinket thingy, so we're getting rid of that one. But these other effects, okay, so how does this work? While wearing this tattoo, you can conjure small magical effects with your actions, such as harmless sensory effects, light or snuff out a small flame, clean or soil an object, color an object, mark a surface. Oh, that's mark again. Chill, warm, or flavor a material. Okay. They've got here material and they've got non-living. I think we're going to just go with here material, a substance. I'm going to leave the rest of it to the game master to determine what is reasonable and what is not. Okay? If you're having battles and arguments with your game master about how something should work, go be a game master, people. It's just simple. And make your own magic items, but yeah. One of the, I've been trying really hard when I've been making these magic items is not to get too granular, so it covers every eventuality, because there's always another eventuality that requires another thing to be written in, and there has to be a point where player and game master or dungeon master need to be on the same page. Right. You play the game master makes up the rules. That means the magic items work the way the magic items work in terms of what the dungeon master and the game master thinks. And what is written down is their interpretation. That's going to be interpreted. And that's it. That's it. That's how it is. Anyway, let's go into chat and see what you guys have cooked up before I go through and start making some more magic items. Calrel, hello. Could we have a pouch of holding tat? What is holding tat? Whole of holding. Tattoo. Tattoo. Could we have a pouch of holding tattoo? I don't know that I like that idea. We have a bag of holding already, and I feel like something that holds something that's a bag. Right? That's what bags do. I don't know that we need a tattoo that acts like a compass. Okay. I can potentially see that. Hello, Pale Rider. I don't want to do... You might have noticed that all of the magic items I've made, I have not created or duplicated something like the bag of holding. Why is that? Because that is not a low-level magical feature. That is a high magical feature. But also, too, I feel like that is something that doesn't need to be made into another magic item. That's my thought on that. Anyway, let's take the tattoo compass idea and plunk that in here and see if we can build that into something. Tattoos might be one of those things that are actually quite difficult to come up with. So the magical tattoo is basically giving you a small amount of magical power, if you didn't have any, which is okay. And the mystic mark. Okay, so we're all good. We're all good. Let's do the switch over and see if I can get Pale Rider's idea nailed down. This is this button here. Okay. So let's see. Let's take that part. And let's go here, paste, and it's got to be the navigator, navigator's mark. Let's call it the navigator's mark. Okay, well, we're in this tattoo. Tattoo of a compass. A compass. It always points correctly toward true north. Towards okay, now you might be thinking, well, that's what a compass does, Fred. You haven't made a magical item. It is just a compass that is now a tattoo. But no, it's not. And I want you to just, in this one simple sentence, it's done quite a lot. Imagine that you have something like magnetic rock, a mountainside that's just made out of magnetic rock, or a really high concentration of iron somewhere. That will mess up your compass, okay? Whereas this tattoo as a compass is not going to get messed up. It is always going to correctly point towards the north. So while wearing this tattoo of a compass, it always points correctly toward the north. Towards north, towards north, towards north, towards the north. Okay. All right, so we've got it. That's in. That's done. Sweet. All right, so I'm going to just backtrack because I'm going to be working through some spells in a second. Back to page 1. Okay. All right, so let's go back to chat and see what else you've cooked up. Nice one, Pale Rider. That is included. I kind of like that. It's fun. It is very simple. It's very basic. I guess, would it break a game if you're wanting your players to get lost? Well, I would then say, if you want your players to get lost and you want exploration to be a thing, exploration doesn't require the players to get lost. You know what I mean? You can still have exploration without getting lost. Like, it's possible. Believe it or not. It can happen. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to really be a problem. So, you just don't include it if you don't want it. Just don't put it in the game. Next. Oh, here we go. We've got a whole bunch of ideas. Shy X is showing up. We've got Cal-Rel. We've got a few, actually. Cal-Rel, Pale Rider, and Shy X. Cal-Rel, I just saw your new idea, and I like it a lot. I think it's a brilliant idea. I think that's smart. That's really, really clever. So we're definitely going to take that down. Tattoo of Animal Companion works like the figurine. We've done a few magic items where they sort of create a companion. And it's kind of like the no-brainer magic item for a tattoo that you would sort of, it's like the movie Electra, where that guy has the bird or the snake that comes off his skin that's tattooed to him and acts as a spy. Okay, Tattoo of the Dragonborn. Once a day you can unleash a cone of fire. I don't think the Dragonborn, but Tattoo of the Dragon. Or just Dragon Tattoo. Yeah, we could make that. The fish scale gives me a swim speed of 30 feet, so we're going to make that a lot easier to understand. I'm not going to say 30 feet. I'm going to rearrange it a little bit, but that's my next one. Ooh, geez, there's a lot of ideas coming through. Blood link tattoo, treated as another race or species of choice. Blood ink tattoo, treated. I'll have a think about that one. I'm not too sure how I would write that. That might be a bit more difficult to figure out. I think that's probably the hardest of them all, actually, now that I think about it. Okay, tattoo of normal weapons. The tattoo can provide a limited amount of normal weapons. Tattoo has to be the actual size of the weapon. I don't like that idea, Pale Rider. What I do like, though, is tattoo of the fist. We could do the tattoo of the fist. So this here, I guess, I don't want to duplicate normal weapons in a tattoo. But we could put that here. I think I've got an idea of how to do that. Let's go here and do this instead. Brawler tattoo. And that would be something like, I don't know, Okay, I've done something with that. Got that power rider. Just made some slight adjustments. For rock, tattoo can touch a mundane weapon, shield, or tool set, absorbing into the tattoo and drawing in its image can conjure it. Oh, okay. I see what you've done here. It is basically like a bag of holding, but a lot less powerful. I'm going to leave that one alone. Just because I feel like it would be better to not have that. I can see there being a couple. I mean, it's a way of putting away weapons and shields so they can't be taken off you. Which we've made magic items kind of like that before. But I don't know that I want to do that with a tattoo, and not quite as extensive as this. I think it would have to be broken up. I like the idea, so I'm going to just make a note here. Tattoo shield. Tool. Let's make them a little bit simpler. Okay, we'll just break them down a bit more. Tattoo of plane protection. The tattoo will give the wearer protection from elemental dangers of that plane depicted on the tip in the tattoo. Now, I see. This is actually designed for high-level games. This is not a low-level magic item. Does there need to be a magic item like this? Yeah, I could say that there probably could be a place for that. Let's just go down here, drop that in. I'll come back to that. I see what you're trying to do with that one. I want to work on the low-level stuff today. Arrow tattoo, conscious spectral arrows. Okay. Skeleton key, tattoo, knock spell. Yep. So basically the ability to sort of unlock something. Okay, what was I doing here? I was looking at the arrow tattoo. I put that near the bottom in terms of working on today. So basically being able to shoot something at somebody with a spectral arrow. It's pretty basic. We can probably do that. The skeleton key tattoo. I think that has a place. I just got to get it in. Paste that. I think that's just going to call it tattoo key. Okay, so we'll come back to that. And then linked tattoo. Matches tattoos with one is healing and the other is heals the same amount. Too complicated. Too complicated. Immune to alcohol and drugs and gives a bonus to poison saves. We always wind up with something that protects you from getting drunk. Is there a lot of drunk characters at your table, Pale Rider? Ah, dear. Okay, so this can go here as well. We can do something with that. Okay. And paste. All right, so I've got a whole lot to work. Oh, God. Web ink can be used to shoot a web, climb out to 30 feet. Additionally, extends a grapple's reach to 10 feet. Okay. You're basically creating Spider-Man, aren't you? That's webs. That's webbing. Okay, alright, I think I've got, third eye gains blind sight out to 10 feet. Didn't we have a third eye mask? I think we did a third eye mask not that long ago. Was it blind sight? I think it was blind sight. Pretty sure it was. Let's do that. And paste. Okay. Am I caught up? Yep, Spider-Man. I thought so. Okay, so I can't go to the top of the chat. Top of the chat. Will it let me? No, it will not let me go. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Hashtag. What are your magic tattoo ideas? Simple, common, low power. Okay, alright. Communication, same tattoo for several people allows them to communicate within a distance limit. Yeah, basically it's message, isn't it? I can see that being having a place. So this feels like a one of those things that you make as a GM, so the players don't have to have a sending stone. Right? That's really it. So I think I'm up to everything. Got it caught up. Let's go back to the document and I'll start working my way through your list of things. Let's see if I can't turn them into something, eh? Yeah, I think I'm ready. Whew. Here we go. So, so far we have got the Holy Mark, the Mystic Mark, the Healing Tattoo, the Magical Tattoo, Navigator's Mark, and we're going to do one for swimming, like a fish. So we want to make it simple enough and easy enough and not make it overpowered. So let's go here. Paste. And do I want to call it, hopefully we don't have one already. Where's these magic tattoos? Barrier, let's make sure we don't have one. Absorbing tattoo. That's absorbing damage, basically. Okay, alright. So what we want is to try to build this out. We need a name for it. Whoopsies. Tattoo of swimming. I'm going to make it common. While we're in this tattoo, you can swim as fast as you walk. This tattoo of a fish scale of a. While wearing this tattoo of a fish scale, you can swim as fast as you walk. Okay, that's there. Okay, cool. All right, so I got that one down. This one, I've got an idea what I want to do with this, but I don't know that I'm ready to write it up just yet because it's complicated. Let's go down and make a bit of space, and I'll pull one of these other ideas up that you had. The Brawler Tattoo. This is the one where you were talking about, I think, using weapon attacks, or was it having weapons available to you? And I think what we'll do is we'll go cut, and I want a. Do I want to call it Brawler? Or do I want to call it something else? It's not right again. Can't get the dinosaur right. Assailant. I think Brawler's the way. Yep. Brawler. And we'll just go here. And then we just need to take, I don't think we need to get too worried about this, so let's go here, copy, paste it. Let's go, where is it? Copy, let's do that. Paste. Well, we're in this tattoo. You can use an action to make an unarmed strike that does D4 damage. Now, this is definitely going to be better. If you're in a 5e, it'll work. If you're in Shadow Dark, it might work. It depends, because there's no real rules in Shadow Dark for how unarmed strikes work. So some people use like you could do 1 damage, like that's it, you just 1 hit point, or a D4, or 5e is going to be a bit different, and then 2025 is probably a little bit different as well. But that's pretty low level. I don't think we need to worry. I mean, it's equivalent to a dagger in most D&D-esque games. A dagger does 1 4-sided dice. So it's not a huge amount, but you are able to make an attack without a weapon. And often making an attack without a weapon is not as efficient as using a weapon, right? Well, it definitely isn't. Like, usually it is not, unless you're specially trained and you're not a monk. Woman's Tattoo, you can use an action to make an unarmed strike that does 1 damage. Okay, cool. Am I ready to do this? Okay, so the first thing I'm thinking is if you have a shield and you're wearing a shield and you're getting a bonus that's protective from a shield, and then you can stack it with a tattoo that is also have a shield effect, then there's a problem. So we have to be very careful about a tattoo that would be a shield. So and that would go for anything, like, getting a bonus from wearing the armor is one thing, and then wearing a shield is another thing. So there's 2 different things you can get usually an armor bonus or a protective bonus from, right? If we start creating more things, like you get an armor bonus for wearing a face mask, and then wearing a tattoo, and then maybe you're wearing gloves, then they're all stackable, and it's great fun for somebody who wants to min-max and optimize and be a power gamer, but it will wreck the game. So this tattoo shield idea has to go. Do not make this. Do not make that. It's a really bad idea. Okay? Okay. All right. So next, the tattoo tool. This is different. I think we have done this before with other magic items. We've had a, you know, you could draw on some sort of tool that you wanted to use. I believe I already have something like this somewhere amongst the other things we've made. I don't remember what it was called or what type of magical item it was, but I think what we'll do is we'll take the tattoo key and go cut, and we'll work on that one next. I haven't gotten rid of the tattoo of the dragonborn thing. It just won't be tattoo of the dragonborn. It'll be just tattoo of the dragon. We just need to... Or dragon tattoo probably is better. Paste. So let's make that one there. Pardon me. Now... This is a bit more difficult. How do I structure this? Let's go there. It's probably not going to be common. Paste. I believe, what is it? Knock spell. Is that level 2? Knock spell 5e. Knock spell 5e. Where are you? Yeah, it's level 2. So it would be uncommon if we did this, which is fine. Okay. Well, in this tattoo, you can use an action 2, and then we just need to let's go with touch rather than distance. Okay. So they've gone and said these are the things you can unlock. I think we just need to use the word lock. I think, what's the best way to go here? I want to keep this really, really simple. Can we just break it right down to its bare essentials? Okay, while wearing this, while wearing this tattoo, you can use an action to remove one lock. Remove is like take the lock out completely. Let's just go undo one lock. I think that's close enough to what we want. While we're in this tattoo, you can use an action to undo one lock. That's it. That's pretty. I think that's to the point. It's pretty clear. Okay. Tool one. We've got this one. They've got communication one. They've got the third eye, spirity. I'll come back to those. There's a bunch there that I can actually work on, and I think it would be fine. So, woman's tattoo. You can use an action to undo one lock. I think that essentially covers everything. Did I miss anything else, or did I just get it down to a nice short sentence and that's it? I think that I just got it down to one clear sentence. One lock. One locked. One lock there. One lock. Okay. Yep. Sure. All right. We're gonna. I guess the dragon one will be next if I haven't got anything in the chat. Oh God, there's more stuff. Here we go. More ideas coming. Dart tar fires darts. One DM to hit based on the class and maybe a sleep poison on it. A dart tattoo. You guys really want a dart or an arrow tattoo going on here, don't you? Okay, let's have a look here. See what we can do. It's not working. Why is my mouse not working now? There we go. Here it is. There we go. So let's pull this down here. Where would this sit? It's going to sit about here, I guess. Oh, snot. Okay. Last resort tattoo. Turn the character into a 36th level fireball explosion. You mean blow themselves up? Oh my. Didn't we have something like that before? You've recreated the kamikaze mask or something like that. Was it called the kamikaze mask? I can't remember. I do feel like that may be what you've done there. Rip lip tattoo universal translator. It's basically comprehend languages and is it tongues? It's a translator. Okay, so let's see. I don't know that I... What am I going to do here? Yeah, okay, so that's nothing wrong with that one. Infected tattoo contracts a random disease. You can inflict the same disease with an infected tattoo contracts a random disease. You can inflict. Like contagion, right? You're trying to do contagion. This is more of a cursed magic item or magic tattoo. It's more of a curse. I mean, you can spread it. I'm not concerned about the fact that it might be closely associated with the pandemic of COVID. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about that it is kind of leaning in. This happened to me last time, is that very carefully, but surely somebody sneaks in essentially a cursed magic item. And I'm going to do cursed magic items, but I don't want to do them today. I feel like that is a cursed magic item. So we'll leave that alone. Okay. Tattoo of Conspiracy. Will only work once and will cost a permanent one con. What? Almost all of that is turning me off. If the character dies, it will bring the bearer back to the last time they touch the tattoo. I know what you're trying to do here. It is not something I would create. I'm not a huge fan of magical items that are sort of built into you or that you have that bring you back to life or stop you from dying. I'm not a huge fan of them. Heck, I'm not even a fan of it when it applies to species, races, ancestries, whatever. Just because I want characters to be able to die. And I think there's a place for that. If you have a magic item that can stop that, rather than it is a magic item that could reverse it, that's a different thing. I think reversing death is different to stopping it completely. And this is a stopping it completely thing going on here. It's not something that I'm keen on making, because again, I think characters should die, not players. That's not good at all. No, but characters should die. But I'm also not concerned about whether people make a new character or whether they choose to play the same character because their character died. That is, as far as I'm concerned, up to the player to decide what is going to go on at my table. But even though I don't care whether characters die or whether the character comes back into the game with the same character, I don't want to set it up that they can't die. I'm all right with them dying and then coming back to life. I'm just not good with them dying but not being able to die because they've got something that stops them from dying. There's a magic item in the 5e Dungeon Master Guide, which is one of my least favourite magic items that has been created by Wizards of the Coast. And I think it starts with P. Yeah, here it is. This is one that pisses me off no end. It is on page 184 of the Dungeon Master Guide 2014. And this is the sort of magic item that I don't think you should make. I'm all right with a Wand of Resurrection, but this is the sort of thing that annoys me. Perpet of Wound Closure. While you wear this pendant, you stabilize whenever you are dying at the start of your turn. So in other words, you can't die because you're going to stabilize. In addition, whenever you roll a hit die to regain hit points, double the number of hit points it restores. Now, that doesn't bother me so much. It's the fact that you basically stabilize every single time. It's kind of like the half-orc's ability to gain a hit point. If they get dropped to 0 hit points, that they wind up on 1 hit point. I'm all right with that idea if there is a chance of failing that, but not if it's guaranteed. So this tattoo of contingencies is not going to get made by me. I need to look at Rift's Atlantis Tattoo Warrior. Oh, okay. Tattoo of the Fae. All Fae creature will leave you alone unless attacked and give free passage into the... This is nice. I like this. This Pale Rider, this one is definitely one I like the look of. I think this is something we can do. Ooh, whoopsies. I almost copied the wrong thing. That's almost top of the pops for me. I still think we need to do the dragon tattoo. But this is probably the next thing to work on. Tattoo of the Fae. Pillow tattoo, sleep spell. Oh dear. Okay, that was a good laugh. Identification tattoo. Ink rearranges itself to reveal your true name in any language. Glows faintly if you are touched if you're touching a magic item. If you're touching a magic item. Oh, I see. Well, that reminded me of the tattoo key, which is we need to make sure that you touch the lock to unlock it with the tattoo. Okay, thank you for that. That reminded me. Real true name. Lightning bolt haste. Lightning bolt haste. I guess there's going to be a point where people are going to want lightning bolt and haste as a thing. Just because the idea of having a bolt of lightning as a tattoo just seems so cool. But that's very basic, right? Like, it's not out of the question. It is just, it would not be a low level magic item, and it's not really going to be a difficult magic item to make either. So we'll put it in here somewhere. If we get to it, we get to it. I don't know about this completely. Paste. Okay, lightning bolt. Next, tattoo of authority. Characters 3rd level above. Characters 3 level above the character will, for some reason, think the character is important and treat them as such. Okay. That is a weird one. How do I structure that so it works? That is a weird one. This ventures into the what do you call it? This might be beyond my ability to make, because I can see a couple of problems of making a magic item like this in such a way that it won't cause problems. And yeah, I like the idea, I just don't know how to build it. Anyway, have the enemy hit them before it's their turn and give them the death saves they wouldn't be making on their turn. Yeah, but this is assuming, remember, right now I am not playing 5e. I'm playing HowtoDandD, and I don't want to just sit here and make just 5e magic items. So it doesn't really, I mean, even if the wound closure parapet or that other thing we were talking about, even if they went down and they were stable and they weren't dying anymore, okay, in other words, if their life has been saved, even if you have something come up and hit them while they were down, all that does for 5e is mean, okay, well, now we're on the, you've lost a death save. In something like HowtoDandD, it's meaningless. In other versions of the game, it'll have some effect, but it doesn't change the fact. So I think, for me, negative space, I still don't think it's it's not an effect that I want to put into the game. Recently I made let's say AJ made an ancestry, which is a troll, and it can, you roll a dice and there's a chance that you could wind up with 1 hit point, but just because you fall to 1 hit point does not mean you're on 1 hit point. So there's a chance of failing that. Do you know what I mean? So you have, there's it's not a guarantee, and it's a very small subtle difference, but it's enough to be important, I think. Tattoo of recall gives the bearer a photographic memory. Pale Rider, that is a brilliant idea. That will cause a enormous number of problems, but I can imagine there's a few people who would love to have this. This reminds me of what was it, Keen Mind? A feat called Keen Mind or something like that. It's a terrible feat. I'm not a fan of feats, and this is one of those things which was really quite amusing, what it was trying to do. I can only think of a tattoo that would be too rude to say on here. Then don't say it. That's just leave it off. Kaleidoscope tattoo. If you're in a light source, you can create a cone of light. A cone of light. Okay. Not sure what to do with that. I'm not against the idea. I'm just not too sure what to do with that. Okay, so let's put that in there. Plonk it in. A teardrop gives advantage. We're not making a teardrop. I'm doing tattoos. Charisma checks with criminals. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think one of the things I'm learning more and more is that using a charisma check or a dice roll for a dialogue aspect of your game is robbing players of the opportunity of actually learning how to play the game rather than relying on the numbers on their character sheet. And I know people have issues like it's about what the character, not the player. Bullshit. The reality is that when you play a tabletop role-playing game, it's not about building the character so the character does all the work for you. It is about learning how to play the game. And if you are socially awkward, the idea is that you get better at it with people that you know. And I've discovered too that, something like a charisma check for diplomacy around, persuasion, diplomacy, bluffing, deception, intimidation, whatever you want to call it, those sorts of things when you're interacting with monsters and NPCs is not a great way of applying things. And because it doesn't really work in Shadow Dark, it's something you can apply to 5e and older versions of D&D like 4e and I guess 3.5 and version 3. But yeah, I don't think it is the sort of thing I want to create. I'm going to leave that alone. A way to expand existing light. Yes, I see what he's trying to do. I've just got to figure out how to do it. You could limit things by doing limited charges. So, Calrel, there's a reason why you'll notice that almost everything that I do is either unlimited in terms of the magic item. The reason for doing that, if it's unlimited, then you don't have to worry about the game master and the player having an argument about whether they've been tracking charges correctly. There's one of those things going on there. The other thing that I do with magic items, and this is why I recommend to the rest of you, is either make it unlimited, because it's weak enough that you can do that, or one use per day, because that's much easier to track than I can use it 3 times per day in adventuring day. Those sorts of things, using it 3, 4, 5 number of charges is just a shite. It always causes problems. This is why I don't make magic items that way. Angel wings can fly. Okay, I see what we're doing. This is quite a lot stronger. We could make that though. That would be for an hour a day. That would be a very strong tattoo to do that. You could do it. I will remind you that giving somebody magic items that can allow them to fly is usually going to result in bad things, because the next step is they are going to go and get themselves invisible. Invisible flying player characters are just as a pain in the ass as a invisible flying spellcaster controlled by the dungeon master. I know this because I've dealt with it many, many times. It is not a fun place to be. So you've got to be careful about making things, anything that makes you fly is also, the next step is very easy to go invisible. And then like, how do you track them? It's virtually impossible. Like the idea of magic, I'm tattoos, but at any time I feel like that. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen them, they just feel like, yeah, and magic tattoos are just basically magic items. Do you know what I mean? That's all that really is. Chimeric tattoo, you can use dex, strength dex or con for attacks. Why con? I understand strength and dex, but I've always been of the opinion that you should be able to use strength or dexterity when making any kind of attack, whether it's unarmed or with a weapon. Unless it's a strength, it's a weapon that's really quite heavy and requires significant strength to wield, like a a maul. You know, there's a bit of weight to it, or even the greatsword and the great axe, even though they're quite heavy, they're usually balanced. Those would be the only other two weapons I could think of. The longbow is probably one of those things. The longbow is probably a weapon that you should have to use strength, not dexterity, to fire, because they're so hard to pull back. This is Pale Rider. I like this one here. Let's take this Tattoo of Lycanthrope. Protection. Didn't we make this last week? I'm sure we did. Okay, so I've got to work on some of this stuff, don't I? There's a lot of ideas, and I think you've been waiting long enough for the dragon one, so let's do the dragon one. Okay, let's see if I can get this to move over here. Go back up. And, oh, that's right. We're going to do the recall, and then I was going to do the dragon. I keep putting off doing the dragon one, don't I? Okay. So it must be time to go back to the Google Doc. All right, so let's put this in here. And that's that one. All right. Back to work. Was always working before anyway. Here we go. So this is where we're up to. We're only on our first page. We're not on our second page. Tattoo of Recall. Recall. Yeah. Why not? Let's do this. Oh. There we go. And we just need paste. This is probably fairly easy to make. Can it be common? There's really nothing else related to this. While wearing this tattoo, you have a photographic memory. And can remember everything you see. So there's a couple of different types of memory apparently that I was unaware of. One is the photographic memory, so you can see anything, and sometimes it's broken up to people can see an image and they can always remember that image. Some people can see an image and read symbols or text. They can remember anything they see, whatever. Some people it's just broken down to they can't remember images, but they can remember anything they read. So if it's long as it's text, they can remember it. So there's lots of different types. And then I know there's other people whose memory it's not photographic, it's something else, where they can remember every sound, or specifically they just always remember a face. There's a bunch of them. So you see. But there's also some that are related to sounds, hearing a sound or a smell, which is a little bit harder to sort of, you don't usually hear about them that much, and a little bit rarer. The photographic memory one is the one that people mostly know about. While wearing this tattoo, you have a photographic memory and can remember everything you see. Done. Okay, let's deal with our dragon tattoo. You wanted something that would allow you to breathe fire, essentially. And I don't think that's a problem. I think we can do that. Let us go and find this bit. It doesn't need to be uncommon. Well, we're just going to use an action 2. Paste. While wearing this tattoo, you can use an action 2. Breathe breathe fire. Whoopsies. Breathe fire on any one creature. I'm getting rid of the line and the cone. One creature next to you doing 1d10 damage. Okay, so I need to structure this a little bit better, don't I? Let's go here. Okay, so while we're in this, now I need to structure this because right now there's no attack roll, and I think I'll put an attack roll in for this if we're doing 1d10 damage. I might even tone it down a little bit. Do I want to tone it down? It's a good question, Fred. Do I want to tone it down? Yeah, probably do actually. I think a D8 is good enough. It doesn't have to be a D10. Let's make it a D8. D8 fire. And then let's make an attack roll. Ooh, this is much harder than I thought it was going to be. While wearing this tattoo, you can use an action to breathe fire on any one creature next to you. Next to you. Next to you. Next to you by making an attack roll with your is that clear? Okay, let's just have a look here. While wearing this tattoo, you can use an action to breathe fire on any one creature next to you by making an attack roll with your highest ability modifier, doing 1d8 damage. Okay. I don't know. Pardon me. It feels like it's all right, but yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, let's do the next one here. Tattoo of the Fae. Creatures will leave you alone unless it's attacked, and it gets free passage within the Fae Wild unless bearer is aggressive. Tattoo must be given by the Fae. No, we'll get rid of that. I'm going to leave that for the Game Masters. And here, we'll call it the Fae Mark. And we will drop this down. I think we can make that. I think that can stay as a common thing. Gosh, copy that. Put that in. Paste. Yep. Okay. Women's tattoo all. Fae creatures all Fae creatures. Fey creatures will leave you alone unless attacked. So we've said the same thing a few times, so we just need to cut this down. Okay, so I think I understand why you've got the word aggressive here. That's attacked. Okay, while wearing this tattoo, all Fey creatures will leave you alone unless attacked or you are aggressive toward them. I think that is what we're trying to do here. It is very, very specific, but it's an interesting idea. Let's leave that there. Okay. It feels like it's very connected to a campaign. Okay, now, I still haven't figured out, I think I've got to go back and look at one of the things where I created a tall magic item. And I don't want to be really careful not to duplicate the same thing over and over again. That's complicated. That's a little bit complicated. The arrow one doesn't need to be complicated. The kaleidoscope, that doesn't actually have to be complicated. It is just changing the way light is. If you're in a light source, so what are you trying to do here? If you're in a light source, you create a cone of light. It's kind of like a twist on the light spell, but you're not creating the light. You have to be in a light source, and then you create this cone of light. But what would be the benefit of doing so, rather than you're manipulating light? I could see a tattoo where you can manipulate light in some way. That is an interesting idea. I just have to think a bit more about this one. I think this is now my new favorite to work on. I just need to figure out how it would look. And I don't think I figured that out. A lot of these are a lot stronger than I would want to work on. So we'll leave them there for now. Okay, all right. So let's go back to chat and see what people have. Anything that's going to be standing out. Oh my, here we go. Mimic taboo. Harbours a symbol mimic. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't want to stick a mimic in a tattoo. Having a tattoo of a mimic would be cool. I just don't want it to be something that basically allows you to summon a mimic. Is there a shape-shifting druid in Shadowdark? No, there is no shape-shifting druid in Shadowdark. Shadowdark doesn't have a druid officially, and Shadowdark doesn't have a, I guess the next closest thing would be a shaman either. So yes, that's a different animal in itself, and it really. How can I sort of explain? If you're wanting to ask me about Shadowdark, the best thing you could do is, God, can I do this here now? Players expansion to Shadowdark RPG. It's because I spelled it wrong. Let's try that. Did I find it? Okay. Let's try that again. It should be here. There it is. Okay. So, yeah. Very quickly, let me just answer that question. No, officially, HowtoDandD does not have a Druid. But that doesn't matter. The reason being is that myself and AJ Pickett and Mitchell Reed and David did the artwork for the cover, which is my brother, because I'm not going to pay somebody $700 to $1,500 or $4,000 for a piece of artwork. Fuck no, because I'm not going to use AI art because they think that's worth that much. Unless your art creates that wealth, it's just not worth that. So we did a profit sharing arrangement. We all get royalties, and whatever money it makes, it gets split. Wally DM is part of that. And so what we did is for HowtoDandD, there is a barbarian class that we made, a bard, a commander, a druid who doesn't shapeshift, does something else, you'll get it, a monk, a paladin, a ranger, and a shaman, and the shaman does transform into animals, a sorcerer, and a warlock. Okay, the druid is the more classical Celtic druid from ancient history rather than the druid that is envisaged nowadays. And then there's a bunch of ancestries as well. So that is that. God, I hope I'm showing it to you. Yes, I am. Cool. So that is what you will find over in HowtoDandD. Yeah, I believe there's a lot of things that are there that you can pay for or you get for free. Now, that document is my plug. It is pay what you want. You don't have to pay for it. It would be nice if you did, but you don't have to pay for it. Okay, so let's go back to our magic items. I've answered the question with regard to the druid. Gills tat, water, breathing water. I think we should include that into, well, no. We've got one that allows you to swim. It's low powered. If we made one that, I think there's a place for making one that can make you breathe underwater. I guess the only thing that I can think of with regard to that though is it would be a higher level ability, right? Breathing underwater is really useful. So it would have to be a higher level ability. But do we want to make that? Yeah, we can make that. I was going to connect it to the other one, but then it would push it up and take it out of the common area. That would probably be a straightforward one to change into an animal corresponding to the tattoo, such as a tattoo of a wolf, boar. Yeah. Again, I don't really want to make a tattoo that allows you to change into a animal. I think I'll leave that for you guys to do, because that's a higher level thing. You're talking about polymorph essentially. Like, you could do that. It wouldn't be hard, but you're essentially using polymorph now. Tattoo of knowledge, the recipient of all memories and knowledge of the giver. I don't know what it gives the recipient all memories and knowledge of the giver. Oh, I see. That's a tricky one. I see what you're trying to do there. I might struggle to create that though. It might be beyond me. You got some great ideas here. Look, a lot of the ones that I'm not making are because I can't figure out how to word them. Do you know what I mean? Hello, Craig. Craig Watson, how's it going? A generic, boring Celtic tattoo that can only be applied to the lower back. Any enemies within 15 feet can see the tattoo. Make a Constitution saving on a fail. The enemy vomits. And becomes incapacitated for the round. On success, the enemy is compelled to make small talk with a wearer. It's pretty funny, Craig. It's pretty funny. Nice. That's hilarious. That is so funny. I'm not going to make it, but it's highly amusing. There are so many levels of yeah, I know what you're doing there. Oh, dear. Inkwell tattoo. You can use your finger to write on any surface. Oh, okay. I kind of like that. I don't know that players are necessarily going to find it hugely exciting, but it's not hard to construct that and write that up. That would be very, very easy. Fit into just about any game system too, which is great. Where are we? Skinning knife tat creates floating knife that skins fallen creatures and preserves pelts. Oh, what an idea. I wouldn't have expected to see that one. That was unexpected completely. What do we do here? Alright, so I've obviously got more ideas than I can possibly deal with, which is fine. It's better to have more ideas than less. Crystalline tattoo feeds up to 50 coins to create a single gem of equal worth. A crystalline tattoo feeds up to 50 coins to create a single gem of equal worth. Oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make a magic item as a tattoo that allows you to condense coins which take up space and might be part of encumbrance. So in Shadow Dark, you can carry so many coins. I think it's like 100 coins with no... How's it going, Craig? So you can carry 100 coins with no gear slot, and then after that, every 100 coins takes up a gear slot. But also, in obviously other versions of D&D, 5e, 4e, whatever, you're dealing with encumbrance, right? So by feeding the coins into the tattoo, you're turning it to a gem. It would be easier to carry more value in a smaller, tighter, more valuable item. So essentially, a gem would be the worth of. It's like one gem would be the equivalent of 50 coins. I see what you're doing there. Clever. Hilarious in many, many ways. If we're going to do 50 coins, I feel like we might as well just do 100 coins. Do you know what I mean? If we're going to do 50 coins, let's just do 100 coins. Let's go back to where we were and see if I can't figure out, because I haven't figured out yet, how to do that kaleidoscope idea, because I like the kaleidoscope idea a lot. Let's just put this down here again. Prompt, and let's jump back over to my page. Where is my page? My page is over here. Okay, all right. So it's a kaleidoscope. I think I should definitely, until it's done, I've got to make that one happen, because that is really interesting. I just don't know how to structure it. Okay. So we still got to stay within common, otherwise we're kind of cheating. Do I want it to require an action to do? You might have noticed I don't make any mention of concentration with a lot of stuff. It's deliberate on my part. Do I really want it to be an action? It's not really something that you're going to use in combat. It's not really a combat thing. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it a free action. That'll make a lot of people happy and also piss off a few people as well. So let's do this. Let's go with the kaleidoscope tattoo. While wearing this tattoo, you can use a free action. Free action to create light. We probably should be looking at the light spell, shouldn't we? That might help me just a little bit. Just a teeny weeny bit. Light. Okay. So, while wearing this tattoo, you can use free action to create bright light in a 30-foot radius or cone. Okay. Now an item like this, a tattoo, is super powerful. Am I limiting the time frame? This is like an hour. Action to create bright light in a 30-foot radius or cone that lasts for 1 hour. Okay. While wearing this tattoo, you can use a free action to create bright light in a 30-foot radius or cone. You can create bright light extending from you in a 30-foot radius or cone that lasts for 1 hour. Okay. Right. Okay, so I got that bit done. Now we need to add on top of this. Okay, so you can change the brightness of the light, its color, what's the other one? Is there something else that I'm missing here? Oh, yes, because it's a kaleidoscope, right? We need to be able to have something that duplicates that. You can change the brightness of the light, its color, and generate rainbow patterns that change. Did I get it? Did I get kaleidoscope tattoo down? While wearing this tattoo, you can use a free action to create bright light extending from you in a 30-foot radius or cone that lasts for 1 hour. You can change the brightness of the light, its color, and generate rainbow patterns that change. Did I get it? I feel like I might have. I feel like it might be the one. I don't know. I know. Let's go now. This tattoo inky thingy, which is actually a really simple effect. I just need to. Here we go. Let's go here. Something like scribe. Scribe's tattoo. Let's do that. Scribe's tattoo. So we just go down. I don't want to have this be an action. I just want you to be able to do it. Because really, I don't think it's that important that it be an action. Paste. Okay. So this kaleidoscope tattoo is kind of like dancing lights, and it's got elements of prestidigitation in there as well, I guess. Okay, Scribe's tattoo. Let's do that one. Well, Veteran's tattoo. You can use your finger to write on any surface. That's it. It's not bad. That's fine. Actually, you structured your sentence pretty well, so I don't have to do very much. Use your finger to write on any surface. It's gonna be interesting. Do I need to say any more? I think that's enough. Gill slits tat. So I don't know what do I want to call this. I don't know what I want to call this. I still think I can make this. This is not a problem. It's just there's some interesting ones here. There's some very unusual things. So we could you guys have covered like the gambit of things that you could possibly do. I'm trying very hard today to lean into the lower level stuff. I found last time everything was wound up being uncommon rather than being common. So I'm trying hard to do that today. Stay with just the low level stuff. Okay, all right. Let's see what else. What else do we have here? Let's collect up. Shyx also for magic components where you need a gem. Yeah. Spell components come up too. We did that already. Actually, we've already got spell focus or materials kind of covered. It's essentially done. We've got a magic item that does that. Crack and ink tattoo. Spells damage type can be converted to bludgeoning. Okay. All right. What am I doing here? Copying this. So, where am I? Let's do that. I'm a bit light today. Sorry, I am feeling a little bit run down, so I'm not quite as energetic and ripping through things as quickly as I normally would. I'm also being a little bit more cautious because I've started to notice a pattern developing in the magic items we're making. Okay. But no, to be fair, we have actually done pretty well in trying to keep most of these things fairly low end. Like there's a lot here that are definitely low end things. We don't have to worry about them too much. They're all right. You know, they do something. They could be useful in the right hands with a creative player without getting too silly, and that's important. There's a couple here which I feel like I can do, but do I need to do it in the live chat? I don't know. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask one more question of those of you who are still here. And it's not related to tattoos, because I'm going to probably work on this on the weekend at some point, just to finish off anything that I can. What's our hashtag? Hashtag, not that. Hashtag. What other types of magic items do we need to make other than cursed and weapons? We'll do cursed and weapons, but not until I'm ready. Okay. Clawed hand, tat gives a claw attack, 1d6. I think we did an unarmed strike one. I don't know that we need. Do we need to have a claw that does claw damage? I suppose we could. Let me mark that down. Let's see what happens. Maybe this is what I'm working on later on. I don't know. There's a bunch here to work through. Is there anything that people particularly would like me to try to do? I think that is close to where we're at. Okay, so this is that, that's that. I haven't gone through all of the other stuff that I normally do. So we're going to end this poll. 10 votes. Turnout today is a bit better than it was yesterday, which is always nice. Okay, so have you made your own magic tattoos for a tabletop role-playing game? No, 50%. Yes, 40%. Just watching, 10%. Okay, 10 votes. Magic etchings can etch on objects like tats. Well, we've done tattoos. Etchings. Do you mean runes? Like magic runes? No, because I guess runes... Is it runes? Do runes go on objects and tattoos would go on creatures, right? Are we talking about runes? Maybe we are. Yeah, do you mean magic runes? Because if you mean magic runes, maybe I can get behind that. I don't know. Maybe it will be too similar to a tattoo. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it won't. I feel like the things that you would put onto etchings that you would put onto an object would be very different to what a tattoo effect might be. So maybe there's something for that. Anyway, okay. Let me just close up this and that and that and that and that and then okay, let's at least show you what we've done so far. Yeah, and hopefully that'll be helpful to you. Yeah, you can say that. Okay, that's what. So really, we were talking about magic runes, things that will go into an object. I get that. Okay, let me think about that one. There might be a place for that. I just need to have some sort of idea of how to do that. Okay, so we've got the holy mark, which basically just means if you're a cleric or druid, you've got your spell focus as your tattoo. It is nice and easy, as if you're holding your spell casting focus. Next, the mystic mark is the same, really, just for sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. Spell casting focus is a tattoo. Healing tattoo, which basically gives you 1 additional hit point when healing, magical healing is used on you. Okay. The magical tattoo basically allows you to conjure small magical effects as an action, such as a sensory effect, light or snuff out a flame, clean or soil an object, color an object, mark a surface, chill, warm, or flavor a substance. We've got the navigator's mark, which basically just points north no matter what. So handy if you're dealing with magnetic rock or even magical effects that are trying to get you lost. And then we have the swimming one, so it allows you to swim as fast as you can walk. We have the brawler tattoo, which allows you to make unarmed strikes and do 1d4 damage rather than just a 1. It may not. I mean, it depends on what you're doing in your game. If you've homebrewed it, this would be useless to you. The tattoo key, which basically allows you to undo one lock you touch. If it's got a trap on it, make sure you get rid of the trap. Tattoo of recall basically gives you photographic memory, which is, I guess, I don't know how useful that is, but maybe it is. The dragon tattoo, which allows you to breathe fire. The Fey mark, which allows you to not be interfered with by Fey creatures, as long as you don't attack them or are aggressive. The kaleidoscope tattoo, which I think ultimately, out of all these magic items, is my favourite. I can't remember who made the suggestion, but I think it's turned out to wind up being the more interesting one out of the whole bunch. The Scribe's Tattoo, which allows you to write with your finger. And then there's a bunch of ideas which I haven't finished off, and I will hopefully get to some of those on the weekend. So that is the lot. That's everything. That's what we've got. So yes, I think it is time for us to finish up for today, and I will be back next week. As I said, because I am probably going to be focusing more on Shadow Dark, but I still will be doing 5e stuff because a lot of people who are subscribing to my channel are interested in 5e or 2025 or 2024 D&D or older versions of D&D, but because you're still sort of interested in that sort of stuff, I will still do a lot of generic stuff next week as well. Like that's a thing. But I also want to lean more into Shadow Dark because I think it's a very good version of D&D, and this book is one of my favorite books right now. So next week I'll be covering the new Monster Manual for 2025. I have not purchased this book, but I do have the digital book, which I didn't purchase either. It was just given to me so I can review stuff, and I will review that. And then the next week I'm going to shift our monster creation over to Shadow Dark monsters rather than 5e monsters for quite a while. Just because AJ has been going bananas and sending me a lot of stuff, and it's clear to me that he wants to make monsters for Shadow Dark. And he's been doing the narrative and the name of the monster, and I just have to do the monster math. And he's been talking about drawing Shadow Dark monsters a lot. And I know he's excited, so I need to move in that direction while he's still got that that oomph going on there. So yeah, that's what's probably happening in the next 2 weeks. So you can expect that. Single-use magic grenades. It's not a bad idea at all. Anyway, yeah, all right. A single-use grenade launcher tattoo. Anyway, so thank you so much for everybody who's been watching and listening. Thanks for taking part in the poll if you took part in the poll. A huge thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon. I do appreciate your contributions because it allows me to make stuff, and made my first book with some help for Shadow Dark, and in the future we'll see some stuff for modern D&D and probably Super Atomic. We'll see how that goes. I think it's mostly going to be AJ doing that, just me playtesting. So yeah, thank you so much. So those people in chat who've been presenting your ideas and sharing with me, Cal-Rel, Pale Rider, thank you so much. Shy X, Craig, who was highly amusing. I found it very amusing, his suggestion. And it was very, very, very cute. Negative Space, and I think that's everybody. We didn't have Fred Huber today. He must be building his house. So yeah, so a huge thank you to those of you who were sharing your ideas. Don't feel bad if I didn't take all of them and turn them into something, because you never know what happens later on. Quite often later on, behind closed doors, I wind up adding a lot of stuff. Anyway, it'll all go up onto Patreon anyway, for those of you who are patrons. Anyway, this is it. This is me done. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the night, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.